Hey guys, what's up? We're back with another episode here of the Unreal Engine 4 tutorial series. This will be episode 4. I was going to make this a longer episode, and it was going to encompass all of the first-person perspective arms and the third-person perspective meshes, FPP and TPP for short. However, I just got out of the hospital, and I'm supposed to be in bed resting. But I know some people have come to me saying they really enjoy the tutorials and they want more, and I felt so bad because I'm really not that active right now with working on the house. So they let me out of the hospital yesterday, and I said to myself, no matter how much pain I'm in, I'm going to get on that computer and I'm going to record at least a simple kind of in-between tutorial to just kind of hold you over. Now this is going to be a shorter one. We're basically just going to cover a simple concept of just moving assets between projects. And the reason we're going to do that is for the first-person perspective arms and the third-person perspective mesh, we are going to use the built-in Epic Games shooter game until I get a tutorial where I kind of teach you guys to make your own mesh. And that's going to be pretty simple because I'm probably just going to tell you guys to go to Mixamo. It's a great site. It's great for beginners. They have a lot of animations, and if you're good at modeling but not animating, it's perfect because you just upload your character in a T-pose and they will take care of the rest. I have created a basic character actually using just a simple human topology mesh I found. Actually, let me see. I'll pull him up. And what I did was I just created some simple clothes on him. Here we go. So if you see, he's just got a very basic, and it's toon shaded because I'm working on a series right now that's all toon shading. And I'm hoping to kind of implement toon shading into a game eventually. Now you can see he is actually wearing a shirt, which is seamed from the pants, but they're both the same color because he's supposed to have a cloak and he has darker boots. It's a very simple mesh, and all I did was I uploaded it to Mixamo, and it gave it a skeleton, and from there I was kind of able to give him animations using their system and import them into Blender, and I created a few tween frames because normally there is no in-between from when he goes from walking to running. He just kind of snaps. So I created a simple tween frame, and if you guys are really that interested, I can show you how to do this. Just let me know. It's a very simple thing. Now, Unreal Engine 4 has these built in. That's what blend spaces are. They take the end frame or they take whatever frame it's on. So if you're doing a blend space and your character's moving at 90, he's walking. Now, let's say you get a burst of speed and you move up to 250. Now he's running. So Unreal Engine says, okay, what frame is he at? Like right when he gets eye or speed. Oh, he's at this frame. Okay, what frame is he going to be at when he starts running? Okay, this one. And it creates a smooth transition between these two frames. And a lot of animators from an older day would call this tweening. When I use this term with anyone and their grandmother, well, maybe not their grandmother because she might have used it, but anytime I'm talking to a lot of these younger guys that want to do animation and I say tween, they get really confused and I just go, it's an interpolation. What that is tweening comes from the word in-betweening. It was frames you would draw between two key points, and to shorten it, they called it tweening. But nowadays, that's just considered an interpolation frame. It's an interpolation between two positions that creates, a smooth transition. So let's go ahead and get started on the tutorial. Step 1, we need to download the shooter game. Well, that's pretty simple. You're going to go into your Epic launcher here and go to Learn. And you're going to want to I'm gonna warn you now, by the way. I am on some crazy painkillers, so if I start talking really slow or I get lost in my thoughts, I'm really sorry. I'll try to cut most of that out in the editing. Like I said, I just wanted to get this done for you guys. I want to let you know the place I'm moving to, we have we actually have an HTC Vive, and since they've kind of added in support for it, as you can see here in like this new feature, I'm going to start working on VR game implementation. So if you guys are interested in seeing tutorials for that, let me know that too. I'm really trying to get more into the Unreal Engine and move away from other engines I know. That being said, I do want to do a couple Game Maker ones. I've been using Game Maker since it was like Game Maker 3.0. Back in, I think, 8th grade maybe, actually, for me. And I know that by heart. That's a great thing, and I want to start working more with it too. So we're going to scroll down here, and I'm probably not going to find it because I had an issue with this the first time. Here we go, games. Okay, so it's all the way down in games, because it's basically a completed game. You can play this if you wanted. And here you'll see shooter game. And you're just going to click this, and it actually does have a built-in tutorial. If you'd like, I believe you launch a tutorial project inside of this file, and it will give you a walkthrough on some of the stuff they did, which is very useful. I recommend that you do that if you're interested. It does cover a few things, and I'm not using that when I'm doing this. I'm using a different tutorial. I'm kind of just following a mishmash of a bunch of them that I've read because, you know, I think it's better this way. I'm not saying my way is the best, but it gives you something to think about. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and download this. Now I can't. If you notice, I have create project. That's because I've already downloaded it. So here you'll see download. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that. And that is going to take a while. If you need to pause the video while that's happening, by all means, go ahead and give that a shot. Another thing I will say quickly, as long as I've just covered that, is I want to talk about a new idea I've had for these videos called a directory. Now, through the entire video, there will be an annotation at the bottom that says directory. If you click that, you'll be taken to a directory of the video, and it will have every step in the video. So you can click that and go back to a step you might have missed. For instance, if you already had watched this video, but you really don't remember where the shooter game was, come back to it, click directory, and click, step 1, downloading shooter game. And it'll take you to where I started talking about it. It's an idea I kind of want to start doing in all my tutorials, because then when you come back, there's no guessing and skipping around. You can kind of get where you need to go. And let me know what you guys think of that. I think it's a clever system. If you guys really like it, I can maybe even put it in the very beginning, so you can just kind of jump right to where you want. And then also have a button that just says start now, so you can just skip over the directory in general. So here we go. Once that's done downloading, if you go to your library, you actually won't have this here yet. What you'll need to do is go down to your vault, and you'll need to find shooter game, and you'll need to click create project. And it's going to ask you to pick a place where you want to put it. And for us, I used my destructible game because I was using the character in this game as a template for doing a destructible environment, which I do want to do an in-depth tutorial on that, but that's for later. So there's a very easy way to do this. Mainly, one way you can do it is you can, open the project and then go into every asset and copy it and then open your other project and paste it. But that's time consuming, and the nice part about this engine is you don't need to do that at all, actually. All you really need to do is you just need your animation and character folder, because we're going to want to have our own character. So we're going to right click and we're going to do show in folder, and this is going to open up our Explorer right to our main folder. And then we're going to do the same thing on our shooter game tutorial, show in folder. And let's just move these side to side here so we can see them nice and easy. Now we're going to go into content, and here you'll see animations and characters. So I'm going to go into our content here. And what I'm going to do, our content folder is not very amazing. Oh, that's right, we haven't gotten very far in on this one, sorry. I'm used to seeing more. we're going to move animations and characters, just, select them both, and drag them on over, and hold Control, it'll copy. You're going to copy these over to your shooter game. Now, we're going to launch the shooter game. And it's going to ask us to import these. So let's go into the whole importing. The importing will be pretty straightforward. Now, like I said, this isn't going to be a very long tutorial. I'm just showing you guys how to move this over. If I feel better a little later on, I might start trying to make the other tutorial. The only problem is this one's going to actually be kind of long. Setting up a movable mesh. And we're going to have to set up materials and how to re-import those properly. So actually, let's see. It didn't ask me about importing. It might have very well... it looks like it just understood the U asset that the EU assets that Unreal uses, and it didn't need to import them because it's already got the importation data stored. So that's the nice part too, is apparently we don't even have to import these. They're just in our project now. Which, I mean, that's amazing because that just cut the tutorial down very much. So, I tell you what, let's just fix the materials, because I'm pretty sure if I go into content, right, and then I go to character, and I'll go to third person mesh. Now, if I drag him out, yeah, see, he has no materials on him. He's just a very bland looking gray guy. So let's fix that really quick. Actually, that's a really quick fix, and it'll give you a chance to kind of see the material editor. Yeah, if you notice, all of these materials are blank. So we're going to go. Let's go in here, and we'll put it in here. Oh, a couple of these are coming through actually. That one did, and that one did. All right, let's make a new material. So you just go here, materials and texture, and then material. And let's name it matte, and then player. The material, by the way, isn't going to look very amazing at all because I don't really want to focus on that. We're going to probably make our own characters, so this is just going to hold us over. Let me open this material. Now, if you've never used a material editor, you're going to look at this and go, oh my god, what's happening? It's a very simple thing. It's very easy to use. If you use bump maps, normal maps, everything will look better, but, you can actually, do... Oh boy, I'm starting to get dizzy. Those painkillers are kicking in. What is it called? Parameter, I believe? And then it's... I believe scalar, yeah, and then if you were to set the default value to, let's say, 1, and then, set this into your roughness, all of a sudden this thing is very rough, and it reflects no light. But if you set this to 0, look at how shiny. Now, the way this would work is if you actually had a map for your specularity, well, you would put the specularity into here. But if you had a roughness map, or if you wanted to make certain parts shiny without other parts being shiny, you would map that in a black and white plane, and you would put it into roughness. And I can go over the material editor. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I'm pretty good at this material editor. I can show you guys a cool little program I use when I do my materials and models. Okay. So we're going to assign this to our hero, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to go back to the hero mesh. So this guy, that's an animation montage. Where the hell's our mesh? I think it's this guy. We're going to open him. Yeah, and then we're going to change our texture here. And we're going to look for map. Player. There we go. And we're going to assign it to this guy. And we're going to hit save. And here it's going to compile the shaders because we've put a new material on. So allow it to do that. Now you see he's changed to, well, he's changed from a crappy gray to a crappy black. Whoops. We're going to do the same under character and then hero FPP. And these are just the arms. So, I mean, all you're going to see is 2 floating arms. Hooray! And we're going to use the same material for now. And this will just tide us over. Okay. And now what we're going to do is, in our actual material here, we're going to create the materials. So how are we going to do that? Well, so we want to find for our metallic, they should have, you're going to drag this guy over, and I think, can I snap him? I can, cool. So we're going to go into our character, and we're going to look in materials here. He should have, no, I don't see, oh, textures, here we go. And we're going to want to drag in our, this guy right here. This is the diffuse. See how it says FPS _ D? That normally means diffuse. So you're just going to drag him in. We also want to drag in this guy. It says M, so that's probably metallic, which I believe it is. Yep. Oh, I guess you do your metallics in yellow. Sorry. We're looking for N. That should be his normals. And let's see what else we got. Let me see. I don't see anything else really. What about be tiles? Ah, here we go. This guy. We need our scratches because that's going to add scratching to parts of the metal. Now, this might get a little confusing, but we are about to start on creating the material. So how do we do this? Well, it's surprisingly simple because it's still based in Blueprint. So what we're going to do here is we actually have, if you notice, I should be able to hold this. Yep. So if you're ever confused, just hold Control and Alt and you'll get a nice explanation. Now this isn't really telling me anything. This is our red channel, our green channel, our blue channel, and I believe our alpha channel. And this is all of them. Hence why it's white. We are going to use the red channel from the metallic, and we are going to put it right into metallic. And you'll see an update over here. And, you know, it might be better if I put this as a square. Okay, so you see certain parts have become shiny. How do I rotate? There we go. Okay, so yeah, you see how there are parts now that are basically matte. They are not shiny. They are 100% matted. And I'm not sure if those are metallic. No, it looks like they're just 100% matte. Okay, so that's probably going to be rubber components on our character. Like I said, I didn't create the character, so I'm not 100% sure. Now this is our diffuse. Diffuse is the base color of the character, so we're just going to drag all the channels into base color. And this will update again. And now you'll see, if we look, yeah, you can see, oh wow, that looks interesting. Wow, that's kind of cool. Yeah, you can see where those black parts are. There's a different feel. You can see some of them popping out, different feel. Okay. What's next? We're gonna do a little bit of math here to get a roughness. Let's go ahead and create a scalar parameter. And let's name it, or let's make it 10. Now this shouldn't update anything over there. And let's bring in a multiply. And let's drag our red channel in here with this scalar. Now it's going to keep updating over here, but nothing's really going to happen until we connect it into an output. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to get these scratches laid in, and they're going to be going into the roughness because you would want where the scratches are to be rough. So how we're going to do that is we're going to take the red channel of our character, kind of like we took the red channel up there for the metallic, and we're going to put that into the roughness because that will tell it where it should go. Now, if you don't like how rough they look, you can change your scalar parameter here, and that will change how deep the gashes look. So we're going to go ahead down here and add, actually. And here's where it gets a little complicated. I've really only worked with these guys a few times. So we're going to create Oh, that is, whoops, I wanted scalar. Let me just type in scalar. All right, I could do this. Let's give this guy a name here. Let's call him roughness and give him a value of 0.05. And we're going to put him into a lerp, which is a funny word. I think I need float 2. Oh, Jesus, no, I do not. That is not what I'm looking for. Lerp. Really? Is it just linear? I think it's just linear interpolation. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so linear interpolation or lerp. If you want to know what it does, you can click this right here. Basically what it does is it just kind of blends them. And then it has an alpha value, which is the mask. So it's going to take whatever two values we give it, and it's going to combine those values using a mask, and our texture down here is going to be our mask. So we are going to drag the red channel of this, because red is very friendly with these kind of things, and we are going to put it into alpha, and we are going to put the roughness in A, and we are going to just Control C and Control V, and we're going to name this Scratch roughness. Okay, just like that. And we're going to give this guy a parameter of 20 again. Now this is probably the guy you'll also want to fine tune when you want to get different scratch results, because it's blending these two together. Now, another important thing is we need these to be set to the proper UVs. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to pull up texture coordinate like this, and we're going to move this into the UV. And what this does is it translates all of the UV data of whatever object material is applied to into this texture. So this will evenly spread and it won't stretch. It will, because you don't want the you really wouldn't want your how would you say, the scratches to be overstretched or really blurry looking, because they should be fine details. Okay, so we're going to take our lerp and we're going to put it into our add. And once again, nothing has updated yet because we haven't connected this, but we're about to. So I'm going to angle it so we get some light. Maybe you can see what happens. And we're going to add this into a clamp really quickly. And we've already talked about what clamps do. And natively it'll be 0 and max is 1. So if you want to play with those, you'd have to create scalar parameters, but for our needs, this is fine. I am going to move all this back. Oh, not you. Because I like to be a little neat here. And I'm going to drag this guy into roughness. And let's see what happens on the update. Oh boy, look at that. Yeah, now you see it. So all those parts earlier that we put in, right, that were black, up here in the metallic, you see that they've become faded and worn. They are no longer shiny. And then you've got these scratches just overlaid across everything. And those are laying on top of our characters. Now, you could see there's some normal mapping actually happening already from the scratches, but it's going to get even better because here is our normal map. So watch this now. I've just always loved how this works in 3D. It's so cool. I'm going to go ahead and drag our normal map right into normal. Also, by the way, sorry if the mic quality, I sound like I'm getting farther and closer. Oh, look at that. Wow. That is just, it is beautiful. Now, I'm not a very big fan of the twinkling going on. That's just from the different cuts and everything. Wow, they really know how to make a character. This is beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reduce the metallic of it. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna put this I'm going to put this through... Oh, what am I going to put it through, though? See, maybe I'll just play with the roughness, though, because I see the metallic wasn't bad until we got the yeah. I'm going to go ahead and actually mess with the roughness a bit. So, this is our actual roughness. I'm going to bring it up to, like, 1 and see what happens here. Keep in mind that 1 should make it, yeah, completely rough. So now, let's go to, like, 0.2 and see what that looks like. And this is just personal preference. See, like, that looks better to me because it's not all twinkly and crap. If you like the twinkles, leave it there. That I just like this better. I think this looks better. All right, now we're going to click Apply, and then we're going to click Save. So let's test it out, right? Well, here you can see it's already on our arms. Right there, you see it. Ta-da! There it is. I mean, that looks pretty cool too. Look at that. That's kick ass, man. Let's go look at the let's look at the third person perspective. Drag him out. Yeah, I mean, wow, look at that. Right? That's so much better. Now, the way they originally had the character rigged up, he had, if you look here, you'll see in the materials, he had multiple materials for different things. The glass on his helmet, the light metals on his body, and the painted metals. And that's a fine way to do your character, but, you know, sometimes you can just get away with creating one texture for the entire character as long as your UV mapping is really good. And that is amazing for saving space in games, too, because if you have a bunch of materials, sometimes it just gets a little overwhelming. So I think that's all I'm going to cover right now. Don't forget to Control-Shift-S to... Oop. I was on my audition and it just tried to... I hope it didn't end the... Okay, it didn't. Don't forget to hit Control-Shift-S. And that should say... Oh, is it Control... I don't remember. No, it's Control-Shift-S. Okay, I guess it's just not doing it for me right now. Or I'm not hitting the right buttons, I think. Okay, so if you want, you can do File, Save All. Or you can do Control-S on everything you have open. I've always used Control-Shift-S. So what's going to happen in my next video? Well, this was just to hold you guys over, to kind of give you a look at the materials and moving this character over. By the end of this, we want to have, you know, a first-person view, which is attached to our character. We would want to have it aiming where we aim, obviously. And we also want to be able to see our character's mesh and have it move. You know, it should be able to, like when they aim with the gun, it should rotate their character at about waist level. So we'll work on that. And actually, you can use this same method in games where you want to have a neck follow the camera. So if your character turns, you want to have their head turn. Let's say you're doing a true first-person game. You have it so the neck will rotate and follow the mouse. So that wraps up this tutorial. I think I did good for just being released from the hospital yesterday. Thank God for painkillers, right? Sorry if I rambled a bit. I'm glad you guys stuck around. The directory will be coming on in this video about 2 seconds after the black. Now don't forget there was an annotation, if you haven't turned off this entire video, to take you there so you could jump around to points in the video. Now this was a short one, so the directory won't be too long, but in my normal videos there's about 5 or 6 points where I put up a title and I say what we're working on. And I figured what better way to let people kind of navigate the video than that. This is just a small little thing on the side. I do have a Patreon, and so does Purple Husky Media. So if you guys really like these tutorials and you just really want to help me keep doing them, I'm going to be reworking my Patreon to center around these tutorials more. I plan on doing tutorials full force when I'm better and I'm moving in at the new house. I have so many ideas. I want to continue this series. I didn't realize so many people wanted it to keep going until I got all these messages. And it's really great to see you guys looking forward to it. It makes me happy. And, you know, I really got to thank you guys. I'll put a link to my Patreon in the description below the PHM one. But it was fun. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next tutorial where we cover the FPP arms and TPP meshes.